Is Iran a threat to Israel or the United States? Does Iran pose an imminent threat to anyone? What do Americans think about this question? Is it in America's national interest to go to war with Iran? Today, I'll bring to you many perspectives from military experts, political scientists, former CIA agents, women, etc. in respect to these questions. So stay tuned till the end. Hi there, my name is Dr. Godwin. I promote critical thinking in politics and geopolitics to avoid being propagandized. Let's get into it. So today, Donald Trump, via a video he posted on his social media handle, Truth Social, announced strikes against Iran. Have a listen.
Our objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries.
What do you see? Why is he covering his face and eyes with a giant baseball cap? Does this mean he's lying to the American people? That he can't even allow his eyes to be seen? He says he wants to eliminate imminent threat that Iran poses. Is this true? And on whose behalf did he say that? Have a listen to John Kariakou, a former CIA agent.
Benjamin Netanyahu says all the time that Iran is an existential threat to Israel. Well, guess what? Israel is an existential threat to Iran. It's Israel that keeps bombing Iran, not the reverse. The Iranians have exhibited what many scholars have called strategic patience.
Donald Trump in this video is calling for Iranians to come out to the streets under bombardment to topple the regime. Is this callousness, or does he think Iran is Libya? The question is, what gives the US any right to seek regime change in Iran? How can a morally bankrupt person be believed? Can a regime that criminally murdered fishermen off the coast of Venezuela be trusted? Can a regime that is blockading Cuba and preventing it from having basic essential needs to sustain life be believed? Who is the real threat to world peace? Still on the topic of imminent threat to America. Here's what a conservative media figure and a Trump supporter, Tucker Carlson, has to say. Have a listen.
That this focus on Iran is not actually connected to our national security. How many Shiite terror attacks have there been in the United States in my lifetime? Let me do the math. 0. So don't tell me that the greatest threat we face is Iran. That's a lie. You're telling it on behalf of a foreign power. Maybe they feel the greatest threat they face is Iran. It's not the greatest threat we face. It's not an endorsement of Iran, okay? Doesn't make me a simp for the Shiites. It just makes me an American who's trying to think clearly about what our problems are. And our problems would include tens of millions of foreign nationals living illegally in my country. Nobody knows their identities. They would include a collapsing economy that makes it very hard for my children to have children and live the life that they grew up with and their friends and all American kids. It would include a drug crisis that's killed millions of Americans over the past 20 millions of Americans over the last 20 years. Iran is not even in the top 10 list. So you can scream at me all you want and call me names and call me a bigot or whatever, but there's no evidence to support that. And so if the energy of the U.S. government is focused on a threat that's not the primary threat to us, it is by definition ignoring threats that are. And that's a kind of negligence. And so I pointed that out. I was, roundly.
Think clearly indeed. That's the whole point of this video. Think clearly and critically about what is happening in the world and the gaslighting propaganda being spewed by Trump and his warmongering friends in the media and in Congress. Now, if Iran can't touch the US, is Iran an imminent threat? Here is Patrick, the founder of 21st Century Wire, an independent media platform. Here's what he has to say.
Iran can't hit the U.S. back. They might be able to hit back their bases. and damage all of their bases in the region, in Qatar and Saudi Arabia. In Israel has 2 bases, Iraq, Syria, among others, Bahrain, Kuwait has bases, UAE has bases. Those will all be hit by Iran, but the U.S. is safe. So that proves, and even Scott Ritter admits that Iran can't touch America. Well, if Iran can't touch America, how is Iran a threat to U.S. national security? It's not. Right. Why is the U.S. even in the region to begin with? It's there to defend and provide a security umbrella for Israel. It's not there for the oil. You know, the U.S. produces plenty of its own petroleum products, natural gas and oil. It's energy independent effectively. If Iran is not a threat, this is an Israeli interest. So the U.S. is acting explicitly on behalf of the interests of the state of Israel, not America. And this is proven by everybody's statements of intent and so forth. So the U.S. is acting on behalf of a foreign country and then saying it's for their national security. That doesn't make any sense. This is a bad precedent for the international system. This is only going to end in tears.
As you have heard from these people who have millions of followers across the world, why then is the US bent on attacking Iran? And in whose interest is it to attack Iran? Have a listen.
Iran is not our enemy. Israel owns Trump and the U.S. government. Israel wants Iran completely destroyed and thrown into chaos so that Israel can mow the lawn in Iran whenever
Iran or the United States want to fight each other. It's the Israelis who have been trying to pull the Iranians and the Americans into a fight.
Netanyahu's greatest dream in life is a war between the United States and Iran.
Netanyahu will drag him into the abyss. He wants this war in the Middle East come hell or high water, and it's not in their interest.
What war?
The war with Iran.
We don't want to go to war against Iran. I don't think we should be fighting wars on behalf of Israel.
Make it clear to Netanyahu that he should not be dragging America into war with Iran.
You go fight Iran. We are American people. It's not our problem.
If they start talking to you about fighting a war with Iran, you treat them like an enemy that they are.
We should not go to war in Iran on behalf of Israel.
Against the war with Iran. It's not in America's interest, and many Americans will die, and billions will be spent on a war we don't need to fight.
Everybody wants peace, except Israel.
The ball is in your court. I'm not here to convince you to think one way or the other. I'm only promoting critical thinking so you don't get propagandized. To learn more about US-Iran relations, check out this video here. And if you found value in this video, please smash the like button and the subscribe button so that the algorithm will continue to recommend this video to as many people as possible so that people don't get propagandized. Thank you and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.